$10. That's it. That's all this story needs. Not 100, not 1,000. $10 a week changed real people's lives. But first, I need to ask you something honest. Where does your $10 go right now? Coffee? A snack? A forgotten subscription? Nothing wrong with any of that. But what if just one of those tens went somewhere different? What if that one choice, repeated every week, built you $250,000? I know what you're thinking. That can't be real. I thought the same thing. Then I ran the actual numbers, and I haven't looked at a $10 bill the same way since. $10 a week. 10% average annual return. 30 years. You end up with over $100,000. You invest $15,600 of your own money. The market adds $85,000 on top. For free. That's not investing. That's having the market work as your employee for 3 decades. And here's where it gets interesting. Because 30 years isn't even the best scenario. Start at 20. Invest $10 a week until 65. You don't end up with $100,000. You end up with $538,000. From $10 a week. Starting at 20. Let that number sit for a second. $538,000. From the price of a weekly coffee. Now I want you to understand why this happens, because the why changes everything. It's called compound interest, and it's the closest thing to a cheat code that money has. Week 1, you put in $10. It earns a tiny return, maybe a few cents. Feels meaningless. Week 2, another $10 goes in. But now your return calculates on $20, not $10. The return on your return. That's the whole secret. Interest earning interest. It starts invisible. Then one day, you check your account and something feels different. Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. He wasn't being poetic. He said, those who understand compound interest earn it. Those who don't, pay it. Most people are on the wrong side of compound interest, paying it on credit cards and loans. Your $10 a week puts you on the right side, building it instead of paying it. Now here's something that took me a long time to understand about time. Time doesn't just help your investment. Time is the investment. Without it, nothing works. A 20-year-old and a 35-year-old invest the exact same amount. Same $10, same fund. At 65, the 20-year-old has $538,000. The 35-year-old has $123,000. $415,000 difference. Not from different amounts, not from different funds, just different starting ages. Every year you wait has a price tag, and the price gets more expensive each year. But here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to feel guilty about the past. Guilt about the past doesn't build wealth. Starting tonight does. So where do you actually put this $10? Let me cut through all the noise. For most people, most of the time, an S&P 500 index fund is the answer. The S&P 500 tracks 500 of America's biggest companies. You own a tiny piece of all of them. When Apple wins, you win. When Amazon grows, you grow. You own all of them. Since 1957, through wars, recessions, crashes, pandemics, the S&P 500 averages 10.68% a year. It has never, not once in 68 years, failed to recover from a crash. That's not luck. That's the documented history of human economic progress. Now, fees. This is the part most people skip, and it costs them tens of thousands. A 1% annual fee sounds like nothing. Over 30 years, it silently steals 28% of your wealth. VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 fund, charges 0.03% per year. That's practically zero. Warren Buffett, the greatest investor alive, told his own wife to put her money in an index fund. The man who beats the market professionally tells regular people not to try. Just buy the market. Because index funds beat 92% of professional fund managers over 10 years. Consistently. Not because you're smarter, because you're not paying their fees and not making emotional decisions. You don't need to be smart. You just need to be patient and consistent. That's genuinely it. The most boring investment strategy in the world is also the most effective one. In part 2, we show you the exact numbers at every age and one calculation that will stop you cold. Welcome back. I want to start part 2 with a question that bothered me for years. Why don't more people do this? The math is simple. The steps are easy. So why? I think it comes down to one thing. The results are invisible for too long. You put $10 in this week. Nothing visible changes. Your brain says, this isn't working. But your brain is wrong, because it can't see what's building underneath the surface. The first 7 years feel flat. Years 8 through 15, something shifts. Year 15 through 30, the compounding curve goes nearly vertical. That's when lives change. Most people quit in year 2 or 3, right before the bend. That's the tragedy. If you can survive the boring years, and I mean truly survive them, you win. Now let's talk about what happens when you add just one more element to this strategy. What if, instead of flat $10 forever, you increased it by just $5 every single year? $5 more a year. That's one less snack per week, one skipped app subscription. That one adjustment, $5 more per year, nearly doubles your final outcome. The math of small increases is almost offensive. How can $5 more a year do that? Because every $5 increase compounds too. The raise on the raise on the raise. It multiplies itself. Now I want to show you something that most finance channels won't tell you. The wealthy don't just invest more money, they use accounts that shelter their money from taxes. The Roth IRA. This is the single most powerful account available to regular Americans. You invest after-tax dollars now, and everything it grows into, you never pay tax on, ever. You pay tax on the $10 going in. You pay zero on the $100,000 coming out. Over 30 years, the tax-free advantage adds tens of thousands to your final number. Opening a Roth IRA takes 10 minutes. The same 10 minutes that could add $22,000 to your retirement. Now let's talk about the thing that derails more investment journeys than anything else. The market drops 30%. Your $10,000 becomes $7,000. Your phone won't stop sending alerts. Your stomach drops. Every financial headline screams disaster. Your friends say, sell everything. And in that exact moment, the worst thing you can do is what feels most natural. Selling during a crash locks in your loss permanently. The market recovers. Your sold shares don't. The people who held through 2008, one of the worst crashes in American history, doubled by 2012. 4 years. That's all it took to turn the worst crash in a generation into a doubled portfolio. Here's how I think about market crashes now. They're not disasters. They're sales. When your favorite store has a 30% off sale, you don't run away. You buy more. This mental shift from crash as disaster to crash as opportunity is worth thousands. Dollar cost averaging. This is the strategy that makes crashes work for you automatically. You invest $10 every week, regardless of what the market does, up or down, every week. When markets are high, your $10 buys fewer shares. When markets drop, your $10 buys more. Over time, your average cost per share is always lower than the average share price, automatically. You never need to time the market. The strategy times itself. You just keep showing up. Now let's talk about the excuse I hear most, and why it doesn't hold up. I hear you. Money is tight. Life is expensive. I'm not dismissing that. But let me show you where the $10 actually is, because it's there, I promise. The average American spends $1,200 a year on coffee. That's $23 a week on coffee alone. The average American has 4 to 6 subscriptions they forgot they were paying for. The $10 isn't missing from your life. It's just pointed in the wrong direction right now. One canceled subscription, one fewer coffee per week. That's genuinely all it takes. You won't miss the subscription. You won't miss the coffee. But you will notice the $100,000. Now let me show you what happens when you stack this with your employer's free money. If your employer matches 3%, that's a 100% instant return on that 3%. Nothing else offers that. Before anything else, before your $10 weekly investment, max your employer match first, always. Not doing this is like your employer handing you cash and you leaving it on their desk. In part 3, we build the complete picture. Part 3, final part. This is where everything gets personal and then becomes action. Whatever age you are right now, I have a specific number for you and it will mean something. If you're 20, close everything else. This section alone could make you a millionaire. At 20, $10 a week until 65, you end up with $538,000. From only $23,400 of your own money, you contribute 4% of the final number. The market does the other 96%. That's the deal. If you're 25, you haven't missed anything. But every year from today has a price tag. At 25, $10 a week until 65 gives you $338,000. Still extraordinary. Still life-changing. Waiting from 20 to 25 costs $200,000. That's $40,000 per year of delay, every year. If you're 30, I want to say something nobody in finance ever says. You're not behind. Millions of people are exactly where you are, and you can still win this completely. At 30, $10 a week until 65, $207,000. The market still adds $188,800 on top of your money. If you're 35, I'm going to be honest, because you deserve honesty more than comfort. At 35, $10 a week gives $123,000. Real money, but $20 a week at 35 equals $10 at 25. You can catch up. Time can't be recovered, but amount can be adjusted. And at 35, you likely have more income to adjust with. Now, Ronald Redd. Most people have never heard of him. They should have. Ronald Redd was a janitor his whole life. Ordinary income, drove a used car, fixed his coat with safety pins. When Ronald Redd died in 2014, his family expected a modest estate. They found $8 million. He left $1.2 million to the local library, $4.8 million to a hospital. Nobody knew he had it. Ronald Redd proves this isn't about income. It never was. It's about consistency over time. Now, the action plan. Tonight, not tomorrow. Tonight. Before I give you the steps, starting is the hardest part. Not the steps, the decision to start. So decide right now. Are you doing this tonight or are you not? There's no middle ground. Step 1, download Fidelity. Free. 2 minutes. The platform I'd recommend to my own family. Schwab and Robinhood also work. All free. All legitimate. Pick one. Don't overthink it. Step 2, open a Roth IRA if you're under 50. Traditional IRA if you're over. 5 minutes. Step 3, link your bank account. The app walks you through it. Done before your coffee gets cold. Step 4, search VOO, Vanguard S, and P500 ETF. 0.03% fee. 500 companies. That's all you need to know. Step 5, set up automatic weekly $10 investment. This is the most important button in this video. Press it. Don't hesitate. The analysis is done. Just press it. Done. You are an investor. 10 minutes. Nobody can take that from you now. Now. Build your emergency fund alongside this. 3 months expenses. This protects everything. Marcus, Ally, SoFi, all paying above 4%. All FDIC insured. Put your emergency fund here. High interest debt above 7%. Pay that first. It costs more than the market returns. Low interest debt below 4%. Invest alongside it. Middle ground. Split 50-50. Check your portfolio once a quarter, not daily. Daily checking costs you money. Seriously, your job is not to manage the investment. Your job is to not interfere with it. Every time you get a raise, invest half of it before your lifestyle adjusts. Same day. Don't wait. By Monday, your brain has already adjusted to the new salary. Do it Friday, same day. Now, the most important thing I could say about money, and I mean that genuinely, money is not the goal. Time is the goal. Money is just how you buy more of it. More mornings you choose how to spend. More time with people you love. That's what this builds. The $10 isn't a sacrifice. It's a down payment on the life you actually want. I started this with one question. Where does your $10 go right now? Does that feel different now? Because it's not about the coffee. It's about what you believe you deserve. You deserve financial security. You deserve options. You deserve the freedom this builds. The steps are simple. The math is proven. Ronald Read proved ordinary people do extraordinary things. Tonight, one app, one account, one fund, one automatic $10. That's the entire action plan. Your future self is watching what you do in the next 10 minutes. Make him proud. This is Wellfin. We cut through the noise to tell you what actually matters about money. Subscribe.